Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize the nest was that big though, Steve.
Yeah,
like it's actually getting
I
like
put those pictures up.
wow.
I was there. I didn't.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, Kim?
I obviously
How you
didn't
doing?
take those amazing pictures, but
Hey, how's it
Wow,
going?
that nest.
Hi.
That nest got big, man. Is it? Or
It's got
did the
like a
birds?
Snow White
There's
thing
been-
going on out there.
It's nice though. It's nice. Is it?
I knew that.
Is it a robin nest? Do you know? Is it?
There's been robins. There's been
It
blue
might be a
jays.
dove.
Oh
There's
wow.
been blue jays. I think there's been cardinals nesting in there every now and again.
Oh okay. Yeah. How you been, man? You been doing all right?
Yeah.
What's new? Anything?
No, besides meeting someone.
Yeah.
Besides meeting someone, nothing's really changed.
Yeah. You guys. How's it going? How's it going?
It's been going good. We've been seeing each other every weekend.
I know, man. I'm happy for you.
You know, and it's only been able to be every weekend because she lives so far away.
Oh, it's you can't see her during the week.
It's hard.
Has she ever talked about moving here closer?
She lives about as far away as Dan does.
Are you serious?
Yeah. She lives in Lansing.
Oh wow. When are you seeing her this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to see her parents for the first time.
This weekend?
Yeah, she's been really nervous about it.
How come? Why is she nervous?
She just thinks that because she lives a dramatically different lifestyle than me, then that she thinks I won't like it. And
Are you gonna be able to have any weekends available at all anymore to hang out with friends, or probably not?
I'm sure I will. She's just been occupying a lot of my time lately, and that hasn't really been fair to you guys.
Oh, well.
Well, it's not fair.
Yeah, I blocked your number, Dan, and I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, what's not fair is that May 13th, I got the text. It's been great, I know, it's easy, but Allison is a wonderful person. We have a lot in common. From what I understand, you blocked her numbers because she told you? Or is it because you were afraid that if we started texting and calling that you think that she would get jealous? And
It's a little bit of both.
okay. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. Okay? Mainly because, Steve, I don't believe I have to tell you this, but all you literally would have had to have said is, hey, I've met this girl. I want some time with her. I'm going to kind of go radio silent. I know that sucks, but I need time to work this out. Do you not think that me and Tony would have understood that?
I'm just not really good at
'Cause-
explaining.
But
Yeah,
What-
I know.
I know you aren't. What you did was, it would be like if you were an ostrich and you saw a lion coming towards you, and you stuck your head in the sand and expected that your body wasn't going to get eaten. It's like when you said, I was expecting you, why are you here? Why do you think I'm here? I was in a panic because I'm sure since you blocked my number, you didn't get...
I did see your Facebook Messenger
Okay.
message.
I was thinking you were gonna probably unblock me, but I didn't keep my hopes high on that because I know you were busy with,
I said, so I don't know when you blocked it. What was the last text you got from me? Probably the response of that's good, just take your time and have fun.
Probably. Well, I actually did some.
Because then I said, looks like Zach could be gone this weekend. I'm going to down to Hall Road for a Star Citizen meetup. Do you want to go with me? Did you get that one?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So you blocked my number before the 17th. So within those 5 days. Yeah, so I was literally trying to invite you to a meet and greet because I was going to be down here. Then I said, hey, you alive on the 18th? On the 18th, Steve, come in, Steve. Do you hear me, Steve? Over. And then on Friday, I said, hey, getting worried about you. Are you okay? Because now my mind's going to, what do you think? Steve's had a seizure. Steve's got no car accident. Steve's...
Wow.
Yep.
Speaking of a seizure, when she was over last weekend, I had another one.
And then
And unfortunately, she got to witness
I'm glad to
it.
see you're okay. Wish I could have known about it. And then, I hope you're okay. I'm worried about you. That was on Saturday. And after that, the next day, is when I contacted him. Because I was so worried about you.
Yeah.
He informed me we've been blocked.
Yeah.
Okay. Which tells me either one of two, and that it was her that you told him that she's the one that wanted you to block her, like you're making her out to be some kind of jealous individual. I know you well enough to know that either that's true or it's the other one, which is your low self-confidence has got you to the point where you're like, oh God, if Tony and Dan are around and she meets them, she's going to blah, blah, blah. Steve, if you don't want me or Tony to ever meet this girl, that is perfectly fine. Okay?
I want you to be happy, Steve.
And
I want you to be as happy as possible.
We both want you to be happy.
I just miss you, man. I miss you as a friend, dude. Like, it just sucks. It sucks so bad, dude. You were literally,
I want to put
you were the best friend that I had. Literally.
And I want to put this in context with you. Flip it around. If I just blocked you and didn't give you a reason, didn't say anything,
I would have felt really
you would have
shitty.
been in your room staring at the ceiling, not being able to sleep, because I know you. You would have been a complete wreck. And what hurts, this is where the disappointment comes in, is like you inflicted that on both me and Tony. Two people that have, he's been in your life longer than me. I've been in your life for 7 years.
Dude, but I love you so much as a friend, dude. Like, it just, like, it hurts so bad because, like, I just never would have thought that would have happened. And I didn't know that. I mean, I figured you were busy with her. I did that. That's why I didn't want to bother you on the weekends. You know what I mean? I didn't want to bother you. And I wouldn't have done that anyway. I wanted you to be happy.
I'm not wanting you to admit whether it was her that wanted to block, you that actually blocked it. You don't have to. But if it was her that told you to block us, you need to really think real hard on...
No, I told her about you. I didn't tell her about you.
Me? Well, okay. So what's
You told her about me...
That we've...
Elaborate.
Well, that we've...
Had sex?
And done things, and she's done things too.
With women?
With women.
Okay, alright, so she's bi. Which is fine. I'm not even concerned about that.
But
Okay.
she's afraid that I'll
Leave her for you? Or for me?
that I'll, cheat on her with you and
Okay. This is where
and
I'm gonna give you my advice. Okay? And it's advice. It's not telling you what to do. To put her mind at ease, you would probably want her to meet me. And just say, look, Dan wants to clear the air with you on where he stands with everything. Because Steve, I'll tell you personally that what you've done makes me want to tell you, look, you have 2 ways of fixing this. One, you unblock my number and start, communicating like a normal person again. Otherwise, in 6 months, if this girl breaks up with you, I'm not going to do the things that we used to do anymore. Because that's not what friends do to each other. Friends with benefits, whatever you want to call it. You just don't do that.
I literally, Steve, went
and I
to
understand
bed.
your... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. I'm sorry.
I understand your fears. I really do. I mean, I know you. I know you very well. And it's like the second Tony told me we were blocked. I'm like, he is so afraid of losing this girl that he is trying to eliminate anything that can threaten it. And I understand that. But
It's just the way I go about it is wrong.
Because you're afraid, Steve. You're afraid to have that conversation. You're the ostrich. You stick your head in there and think, I'm safe if I just ignore it. But here's the other thing. You know, when you said, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, I don't know. There's a basement full of Ray's stuff that I'm responsible for. Did you not think at some point? Or was that one of these moments like in the movie where the guy goes, well, that's for future Steve to worry about?
No. No,
because that's basically what you
did.
did. You kicked that football down the road.
Well, you told me that Ray was coming back soon.
And I told you that, hey, and what was our conversation? If you want the stuff out. Now, unfortunately, your father walked over.
I know.
And
I saw what was happening.
And I was smiling like the biggest smile to let you know.
Because I know that was the last person.
It was awkward. It was awkward.
It was awkward. But I know how to play your father. I just let him talk about his history, his things, how black people are evil, and let him just go about his thing. But I was also smiling like a fucking chimpanzee because I wanted you to be able to look over and go, okay, Dan's smiling.
Things are going
Things
good.
are okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
I know deep down that was the last person you wanted to say.
Believe me, when he started walking over, I literally looked at Tony and said,
I felt awkward. I felt so awkward. Then I looked out at Steve cutting the grass.
I knew that was going to happen when we were out there, and I literally said to you, "Yeah, go ahead and finish." I knew I was shooting myself in my own foot at that point because I knew he was going to be watching outside, and you know what? He's a loving father. He cares about you, and I can respect that. But it did force me to tell him, like, in the next couple months, and I was going to tell you this anyways, and probably in the next couple of months, once Ray gets a job and we can actually get a U-Haul and get everything, we can get that stuff out of here and into a storage unit. But I can have that conversation with you because of that. Now, you could say, like, oh, Dan, I need to keep you blocked. Is she checking your phone?
No.
Okay.
But she doesn't want it to get to that point where she feels that she has to go through my phone.
Okay.
So did you just block us because you just felt like you didn't want
He didn't want to risk it at all.
Okay.
Because with Michaela,
okay,
and check me here if I'm wrong.
That was a mistake.
Well, whether it was a mistake or not, it was Steve's decision to be with Michaela.
Right.
But the trauma of Michaela, what came in the whole entire me, you, thinking this and that and everything else. So I can understand your knee-jerk reaction to do what you did. But again, you have this nasty, and I've had this conversation with you, you have this nasty habit of not being able to put yourself in other people's shoes and realize that, whoa, wait a minute, if Dan was doing what I'm about to do to me, and I don't want this to be a thing, but I do have to tell you that I'm not angry. I'm not angry at all, but I am so disappointed. It's not even funny. Because it's just like, wow, I thought that we meant more to you than that. And I want you to look at it in this way. If me and you were having sex and doing stuff and hanging out, and then I got a girlfriend and I blocked you, and how would you feel?
Like I'm feeling right now. Really shitty.
Yeah, and I don't want you to feel. There is a part of me that wants you to feel shitty because the fact that means you are feeling something. If you weren't feeling shitty right now, I'd really be worried about you because it's like, wow. It's like if you were getting in my face like, oh, I'm with her now and blah blah blah, and fuck you, Dan, and blah blah blah.
I'm not confrontational.
I know you're not. But the problem is like I think you are confrontational internally. I think that you inside you're like, oh fucking hey, I got to deal with this shit and blah 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 blah. But on the outside you're like, I'm not going to say anything. But then when I move away or Tony moves away, you start doing things that are the confrontational, like the blocking or things like that. And what I want most from you, Steve, as your friend, is for you to tell me what you want. It's not confrontation, it's conversation. Okay? I'm not going to get mad at you because you want. If you said, Dan, I need to block your number because I'm really trying to make this work, and yet it kills me to even ask you that I'm gonna, to say to you that I'm going to block your number. But I can understand it, okay? I understand your trauma. I understand what you've been through. I understand Caitlin. I understand all of that, Steve.
I know,
But
it's still not fair.
But
What's
yeah,
not what's
there was
not
a part
fair?
of me, what he did is what by
Oh,
blocking this.
oh,
What?
okay.
But with Tony, it's like that's one thing, and I'm not saying it's any less hurtful.
Oh, no, yeah,
But
no, just yeah,
with me,
yeah.
you have a whole entire basement of her stuff, and my mind starts going over. Oh my God, is Steve so desperate for pussy that he literally like this girl? This girl literally went down there and goes, wow, this is some great stuff. And then you told the story of Dan. And she goes, oh, well, you know what? You can keep all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And my fear went to, oh my God, would Steve actually do that to keep this girl? Because I know how desperate you are to have a girlfriend. I know how desperate you are to have pussy for them. And I don't, mind you, when I say pussy, I'm not saying it like I'm gay and I hate pussy. Okay, you know me. You know who I am.
No, I know.
But I also know that you are very desperate to have a girlfriend, to feel that normal, like a girl wants me. I understand that. But my God, the amount of stress, and mind you, I am already going through a huge amount of stress with dealing with my roommate. I mean, that guy is just a monster.
That's been a
And
headache within
and
itself.
now I have a 55-mile drive to work and a 55-mile drive back to work for a part-time job that's sucking up $15 a day in gas.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Let me tell you this.
I couldn't do it.
Today, my job, I drove an hour and 10 minutes to work for 4 hours, to drive an hour and 10 minutes back. Okay? Yeah. And the only reason why is because I'm trying to find another job up in Bay City, unless they give me full-time down there, and an increase in pay.
So,
But
a full-time gig's not going to happen with.
they're playing with me. I don't know what's going on. But all that stress, and then you just added the whole entire. And I'm sitting here going, oh my God, do not tell me that after 2 years of being in his basement, that at the home stretch of Ray coming back, I'm going to literally have to tell Ray, oh, by the way, I have no idea where his stuff is now. He's not communicating with me at all. I don't know, honey. Dude, before you did this little thing, I was sweating the fact that I'm gonna have to tell Ray that Zach's stupid rats got out, bred in the basement, got into the camping, made their little home in all of our camping gear, and destroyed probably about $300 or $400 worth of camping gear.
Oh God.
That's what I was stressing out before this.
Yes. Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to need you to do. Because I hate to take it to this level, but because you did this, I need to go down to the basement and videotape you literally saying, this is Ray's stuff, and Dan's going to be picking it up in a few months. Because you scared me. Okay? You scared me bad, Steve. Like, scared me to the point of like, oh my God, I don't want to even think that Steve would take it to the level of giving anything to this girl.
I mean, Steve,
And please,
if-
and here, as your friend, please, for the love of God, don't go spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on this girl. Please. Not until you've at least been with her for a year. That's my other piece of advice to you. Because, sweetie, you exude desperation. Even when it came to me, you exude desperation. And women can smell that. And I don't know who she is. I care about you. I care about you. Okay, I don't know her from Sam Hell. Because I've never met her. I don't know if you're ever going to allow me to meet her. And if you don't, again, that's your prerogative. I don't need to. And when Tony or I say, hey, can we see a picture of her? It's not because we want to see how hot she is so we can try to take her away. It's because we want to look at, it's like, let me give you another analogy. If you had a child with someone, a baby, and I go, oh, well, let me see a picture. No. Well, why not? Because it's my baby. I'm not going to show you my baby. If I show you my baby, you're going to take my baby.
No, I wouldn't.
Do you see my point? But you see my point. It's like we're not trying to take your girlfriend away from you. We're happy for you.
We just want to see what she looks like, how you feel,
like,
you know.
Hey, that's great. She looks great.
It's
she
nothing.
Looks like, great.
I would never do that to you, Steve. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
And
The reason why I'm saying all this is because I want to put your fears down. Okay? Just like with Michaela, I told you, hey man, if she and you want to have a threesome, I'm available. But I'm not sitting here saying, yo bro, we're going to have a threesome. When you making that happen? Come on, let's go. He's ready. He's ready. I'm not doing that. Tony's not doing that. Okay?
I would never do that to you. I know Danny would never do that to you.
But now
we care about you so much, man. Like, Steve, like, I just have to tell you, man, like, I've been so depressed. Probably more than you have in the last 2 years of not having a girlfriend. I mean, this literally made me depressed to the max of, I've got no more friends. I'm done. I've got to live a solo life now. I got to figure out what the hell living the life I am, I work, obviously. Not like your job. You've got a better job making more money than I do, but the fact that I've lost a best friend, it felt like it was...
I know that you didn't think that that's how it would be perceived.
I love you, man.
That is how it was perceived. It was like, yeah, I got this girl. And you walked out the door backwards. Like, that's why. Is that your mom? Or your dad?
It can wait. It's probably just about dinner.
No, go ahead.
It's probably just about
Yeah,
dinner.
don't make her freak out because we're over here. Because I can tell you right now that's...
Hi. Yeah, I'll come over and get some in a minute. Bye. Alright, what that was about.
Oh, I know, but just answer it and let her know. If you need to go get your food and come back and eat.
Yeah. You can eat while we're talking to you. You don't have
she's
to.
She's going to look in your phone. She's afraid you're going to... I can give you half a dozen other ways to reach me. Make an email account, Steve. I will email you. Make it an account that only you can get on in certain ways that aren't on your phone. I don't care.
I have to ask you a question, Steve. Are you able to unblock me and Danny just so we can talk to you during the week?
No, I'm not even worried about that because I think... let me take it. I'm going to take a shot in the dark. I'm going to take a shot in the dark. The reason why is because if you were with her and one of us called you or one of us texted you and it went off, she'd be like, oh, who's that? Mm-hmm. And then you'd have to be like, oh, it's so-and-so, or you'd have to lie. Am I hitting the mark here? Boom. Okay. So, I will give you some options here to try to save this friendship. Okay? You can tell us, don't call me on these days. And we will respect that.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell us, don't call us at these times. And we'll respect that. You can tell us, don't call me unless I call you. And we will respect that. Of course, that would require that you actively call.
Yeah.
Because eventually it's going to get to the point where it's like, oh, okay, it's been a month, dude. Are you alive, dink?
It just...
Okay.
It sucks, dude. Like, I will admit, the conversations, it sucks. I miss that, dude. I miss talking to you, man.
What are the two things that I can't stand, Steve, that have gotten me into a fight? Do you remember? They've actually got me into a physical fight. I told you this. I'm not trying to quiz you. If you can't remember, just say so.
I should, but I don't.
Okay. Racism and hypocrisy. And what you did to me and Tony was probably one of the biggest hypocritical things you could ever do. Because if that had been done to you, you would have been utterly devastated. Especially during the time that you did not have a girlfriend. And the only people that you and literally were having sex with was me and Tony. And again, even if the sex is completely taken out of the equation, I'm still your friend. It's not about the sex. The sex was fun, but I didn't hang around you because of the sex. Now, I need to ask you, did you hang around me and Tony because of the sex? Or could you just not care and be like, well, no, if I never talk to you guys again, I got her. Now that I got her, and that is what I'm trying to tell you, is how you made us feel. You made us both feel like, well, now that you got her, well, you guys are useless now. I don't need you. You're just a couple asses. Thanks. Have a nice day. Thanks for playing.
No, that's not what it was about.
Okay. But that's how it came off, and that's how it made us feel. And I need you to understand that. And I want you to think about that and flip it around. How would it have made you feel? You had a friend with benefits, everything else, and all of a sudden you get a girlfriend. Now, look, my nephew just got a girlfriend. We used to play online games every day.
Wow.
Okay? And then he got that girlfriend and he just disappeared. And I did the same thing. I was like, dude, are you alive? Are you alive? And he finally got back and he said, oh, yeah, I'm alive. I just got a girlfriend, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. Gotta tell you, I love you. But if you ever do that again, I'm disowning you as my nephew. Because that is not cool. It's like, I had no way of knowing you were okay. I had no way of knowing anything. And I understand it. A woman's vagina is like the Bermuda Triangle. You get lost in it. I get it. But
I haven't been laid in 5 years, Steve. I don't know what it... Well, yeah, it's been a long time. But I'm not desperate. I mean, anyway, I don't care about that. I know you and me are different. I know that. I know you and me are totally different. I'm not all about that.
It's not your sex drive. Hell, I love the fact that you're a fire star. I love all that. It's how...
I'm playing a dangerous game
It's
right now.
How blinded you get. I'm rooting for you. I'm hoping that this relationship goes. Hell, I was the one that literally wrote the text message to help you get her.
I know.
And here's your reward, Dan. Block. It's like, oh, Steve, how's it going? Oh, okay. I guess that's how it's going. I'm letting you know how you made me feel so you can understand. Because I think a lot of times you become blinded with what's right in front of you. And you forget everything else. You're like, I'm happy. And it literally becomes like blinders. The happiness is like blinders. All you see is what's making you happy, and you don't see everything else. And again, I'm rooting for you. I'm really hoping this works out for you. I want you to be happy. I want you to have this girl. I want you to... Hell, I was the one that was trying to help you get Caitlin back for all those times. And...
I deleted her number too, and I just freaking... I don't even have her in my phone anymore.
Who?
Caitlin.
Are you talking to any other guys in your phone besides me and Danny right now that you didn't block because of your girlfriend, too? Or is it just me and Danny?
I've been talking to Rob.
Now see, how do you think that makes both me and Tony? That tells me you think we're a sexual threat, and you don't think Rob is.
Because he's black, right? Or is it just...
That's got nothing to do with it.
Okay. What is it then with Rob? Just you see him on Mondays?
No,
or?
I think I know another reason why. Rob's got a girl.
He's got a girlfriend now?
No, he doesn't.
Well, he doesn't? He lost that girl? He was with some girl that he was going to marry, last I heard.
Yeah, it didn't go well. She had issues about her that he couldn't handle.
Well, I think it's also something else. And I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. it's because you have sex with us. You don't have sex with Rob. That I know of.
Because you've told me numerous times you had no interest in Rob. Obviously, you never found him attractive. It was just a friend.
So it comes down to the fact that you've had sex with us. So therefore,
you found me and Danny very attractive.
Well, no, he found me and you a threat, is what it is. A threat to the relationship, a threat to the thing. And I can understand her being concerned. But the only way, if you, and you need to tell me right now, do you want to continue to be friends with me and Tony? Because if not, in a couple months, after I get the video today, in a couple months, me and Ray will come here, we'll get the stuff, we'll go, and you will never hear from me again.
I know it's a big deal, Steve. I know.
And
I
don't say that lightly.
No, I know.
I know
don't
it's
say that because I don't care.
I know this is
I
a
say
big.
that because I'm asking you, is that what you want? Because if that is what you want, I will respect it. I won't like it, Steve. I will hate it. It'll hurt, but I will respect it.
I just feel like I'm kind of in quicksand right now.
You're not in quicksand, okay? I'm not telling you, what the fuck, dude, this is over the second this and that. I'm not saying that. In fact, I'm trying to actually give you options to show you there are options. I mean, I can tell you that other people probably would have been so pissed off at you that they would not even give you this chance. They would have just been like, dude, you just don't do that to people. And that's it.
I mean, if it wasn't for Danny calling me, Steve, I didn't even know it was Danny at first because I never had his number. Because you never gave it to me. Because we never really talked a lot.
Yeah,
but
I had gotten his number from you.
But Danny called me and asked me if you were okay, and then that's when I responded back.
My first concern. Is he okay?
And I freaked out because same thing. That was before I started talking to him, and that's
he said,
when.
Hey, I need you to talk to me. It's important, and I called him, and that's when he told me
And then that's when I just figured that I knew that the weekends, the last 2 weekends, you were with this girl because the first time I came over, you were going to be with her the weekend. So I wasn't going to come over and bother you guys.
I need to make very clear. This is not a us or her. This is not a bro versus hoe. This is not a.
Shouldn't have come to this.
But it is a thing of. You've now gotten yourself into a pickle because the lion is now right there about to take a bite. And you got to make a choice, Steve. It's either block us and tell us, what, this is over. Thank you very much for playing. Dan, when you get the time, come over, get your stuff, and blah blah. Or it's unblock us, give us times to call you, never tell her, and keep it secret. Because hey, what you do with her, how you handle your relationship with her, is none of my business. You want to cheer her? You want to have sex on the side? Fine. Without her knowing? Fine. Or it's, okay, you know what? I can't have you calling, I can't have you texting, but I'll set up an email thing so we can still talk through there, or Facebook Messenger, or whatever, however you want to handle it. I will give you all the options in the world to make you feel good. Even though I might have to jump through a couple of extra hoops to continue to be able to talk to you and be your friend, I'm willing, as your friend, to make those concessions and do those things so you can be happy. Or you have a sit down with your girlfriend and you say, hey, Dan and Tony came over and surprised me. The reason why they came over is because they care so much about me that they thought that something might have happened to me because I blocked them.
And I did. I actually thought
that's
something did happen in general.
I was, if I hadn't gotten a hold of Tony, the very next day I would have been down here. Looking for you.
I feel bad because
well, you should.
The fact that you live so far away and
But I hope that me being here
But
shows you how much I care about you as a friend, Steve.
I just feel like a
And you
decision.
do. I mean, you can always a mile away. It's like
I feel like a decision needs to be made, though, Steve. Like, there's no waiting. Like,
Well-
you literally hurt the both of us. Like, I mean, I love you so much as a
let me ask
friend,
you,
but
what do you want? I've thrown out several options of what you can do,
I know. I just
but you do.
my fear is I'm gonna have nobody if this doesn't go well.
That is very, very likely. If you play this wrong. I mean, but see, that's the thing. It's decisions. That's life, Steve. You live with the decisions that you make. And I'm telling you, yeah, if you tell me you block my number, and you tell me, Dan, Tony, that's it. Dan, when you come, I will. I'll set up. I'll give you my email address when you're ready to come over with Ray. We'll work it through email. Blah blah blah. And then once you're done, and I won't see you again. I respect that and everything. But here's my counter to that. In 6 months, and she breaks up with you. Dan, she broke up with me. Blah blah blah. There's not going to be a response.
Yeah.
There's just it's just not. I'm going to be like, no, we are done. You are done. Done is done.
if she found out, Steve, that you wanted to keep me and Danny around to text us, just text, right?
Don't text, call, whatever.
Yeah. Would she break up with you because of that? What do you think?
Now, I've got my own personal feelings about that. That any girl that would actually go to that length is probably not someone you want to be with. Do you need to get that?
No, it's not important.
Okay.
Is it?
Well,
okay.
let me. You literally say that about everything. So.
No, it's not urgent.
Okay.
I was just telling her that I was going to get a haircut tomorrow because I wanted to make a good impression for.
Is it her?
For her parents that I'm not a slob.
Did she want you to get a haircut?
Is it her? Is that who just texted you?
Yeah.
Does she want you to get a haircut?
Well, because I told her I was going to get a haircut.
Steve, I have the next 4 days off.
You know, and she got overly jealous because the hairstylist I go to see is a girl. And
Oh
she
my
thinks
God.
that I'm gonna.
Are you kidding? Okay.
And I told her.
Okay, I mean, I can give you my opinion on that, but I'll.
That's a little ridiculous, Steve.
Well, and I told
That's
her,
a
I
little
go,
ridiculous.
It's just for a haircut and nothing
Steve,
else.
Most women
let me
cut
know.
hair today.
Our opinions aside, if a woman is on that level, I hope you're prepared to sit in this house and never go out and just worship the ground she walks on. That because that's where that's going. But that's just my opinion. Again, I'm not telling you to break up with her, but that's a red flag. In my world, if it was my girlfriend that I just started dating and she was saying that to me would be a red flag. Take it how you want. Again, I am not wanting you to break up with this girl. I am rooting for you. If I wanted you to break up with this girl, I could have easily said something in that text message that I wrote for you that would have just completely burned it to the ground. Just some little thing that I know a woman just would be like, oh, that's a red flag, and would have just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Okay? So you know that I am not trying to burn your relationship to the ground, that I'm rooting for you. I helped you get this girl.
I know.
Okay? So here's my thing. Obviously, we never want her to know that I was the one that wrote that text message. But do you think that if I was to meet her, that I would destroy your thing? And I get it, Steve. You think I'm freaking some kind of Greek god, and if she sees me and then sees you, it's going to be like, oh no, I want to. Steve, I need to make this clear to you. I don't care if she looked like fucking Marilyn Monroe. If she was with you, I would not take her from you. I need you to look me in the eye. I would not take her from you. Okay? And if she tried to get with me, behind your back, I would tell you. Because you do not deserve that.
No.
Okay? I need to really make this clear to you. Because I know you have that fear. And you need to leave that fear behind. Otherwise, you are going to literally have this girl and nothing else. No friends. How long do you think it'll be before Rob is a problem? Monday nights? No, you can't go out Monday nights.
No, she doesn't mind that.
Mm-hmm. For how long? It just, maybe she won't. Maybe she won't mind it. But see, here's the thing. And again, obviously it's because you've had sex with me and Tony. But did you make clear to her that it's friends with benefits? It's not...
Yeah.
It's okay.
So,
and what did she say to
thing.
that?
I told her it was just for the sex and nothing else.
Okay. So this is where, again, if you want my opinion on how you fix that, you say, look, I want you to meet Dan and Tony so they can tell you from their mouths that they're not interested in me in a relationship way.
We just want to be your friend as we've been.
They can reassure you that they're not going to have sex while you're together. Because I won't, Steve. I won't. I just, that'll be it. If I will respect her because she is with you. She's an extension of you. I will respect her. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, God, now she took that dick away from me. God damn it. I'm not going to do that.
There's a small
I'm really happy.
That's thinking that, though.
I'm really happy for you, Steve, but at the same time, I am like Dan in a way that I just feel sad and
It hurt. And
disappointed in a way that, you
just
kind of
think
stopped,
about this
you
the right way,
blocked
yeah.
us.
Yeah, you
It
tend to,
sucks.
like I said, you tend to do that. And Steve, you just need, it's not confrontation to have a conversation. It's not. Okay? I thought you knew me well enough to know that if you came to me and said, like, hey, I got this situation. She wants me to block your number. And I could have given you options. I could have said, like, okay, let's work through it. Let's work it out. Let's do this. Let's do that. Hey, Steve, if you don't want me to meet her because you're afraid that she'll think I'm some kind of Greek god and leave you or something like that, or if it's because you just don't want her to talk to other guys, or you just don't want, I would respect all of that. But I can't do anything if I don't know anything. Yeah. And that's where you left us. So I don't want to keep hashing at you. I don't want to keep going off on you. I do want you to understand how you made me feel, how you made Tony feel. I don't want to sound like a parent telling a kid.
I just, I feel like Danny...
But you have made both of us where it's like, wow, the idea of continuing to have sex with Steve just is kind of not palatable. Because you made us both feel like...
Steve, I have to say that...
You were just a piece of ass.
I was going to say, I have felt like that, but I don't want you to just think that I care about you a lot as a person.
Take the sex away, we're still here.
It's just the fact of when you got this girlfriend, it just made me feel like, okay, yeah.
You're yesterday's news. You're yesterday's news.
Yeah. And it just makes me sad, man, because you knew me when we were still pissing our pants in second grade, right? We were in second grade. And it just... But I don't want you to think... I want you to just to know that, like... We want the friendship, man, so bad. But if we can't have it, then we got to move on. I mean, I can't just be on the back burner like you were with Caitlin with the back burner thing. with her.
Actually,
I just can't feel like that because
point, Tony.
It just makes me sad, man.
You just gave a very good point of how he can understand how you made us feel.
Do you know how many times I've been hurt in my life, dude? So many times. I mean, honestly, I don't think, and I'm being honest, the person that I am, I really don't think I've ever actually truthfully hurt somebody. I can't think of one time when I actually hurt somebody. I think my heart has been broken every time I've been in my life. Like something happened. I think I've been broken like every time. I mean, it sucks. I really don't really have too much self-esteem anymore. I even told Dan today about that, but I gotta find a way to go about that. It's gonna take time, obviously, but you were my best friend. I mean,
he'd like to.
I don't know where
be
we are
your best
now.
friend.
I don't know where we are now, but I know you.
Well, and that's the point.
Me and Danny were like your best friends.
You put both of us into a position of where are we now? What are we?
I mean, because I can't just talk to you, Steve, once a week. I can't do that. I can't.
Although, Tony, I am going to say this. For the love of God, could you do me a favor? When you write a text, just write the whole text. Stop hitting that send button.
Oh, yeah.
You do this thing where you do one sentence send, one sentence send.
Oh,
yeah.
I literally was at work.
Sorry.
And you kept doing that. I was like, excuse me, I got to turn off my watch.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. One paragraph.
And just do it. Yeah. You started doing paragraphs. I was like, okay, good going, Tony.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I've been fighting with him about that for years.
I know it's probably a habit. And it's...
Sorry.
Yeah.
I will work on that. Absolutely.
That's all I can ask. All I can ask is that you work on
Absolutely.
it. And Steve, that is the same thing to you. All I can ask is that you work on it, and I am willing to work on it with you. But I cannot do that if you just disappear or you go away and you don't give a reason. All you had to say in that situation was, Dan, I'm afraid because she's doing this and she's wanting me to block you. And I would have said, then block us, Steve, but give us another avenue to get a hold of you. Give us another way to be able to check on you, to see you, to be your friend. It's I get it, man. I get jealousy. If anybody gets it, I understand it very well. Hell, half of my religion revolves around jealousy and utilizing it as instead of a negative, as a positive. To take jealousy and make it into something good. Jealousy can be evil and it can be good. It does not. It is not a evil or thing. It is an abstract that can be used, like a knife can be used to cut your steak or to cut open your girlfriend. It's one or the other.
I have to ask Steve, just like Danny said, the fact that Danny lives so far away sucks. It sucks. I know this is officially the second time that I've actually seen Danny today. The second time since I first met him. Danny's a great guy. I wish he lived closer so that way we could all spend more time together. But as we are now...
Although I live in a tourist town now, so you can come up there and we can all find things to do.
I need to know, man, are you going to hang out with us? Or, like, with us in general? Or is this, like, going to be a once-in-a-while thing?
I don't want to put too much on your plate right now, Steve. And that is putting a lot on his plate right now. I know you're working with this girl, and you're working through it. But the one thing I do need to know right now is, do you want to still be our friends? And if you do, then we need a line of communication. If you want to hide that line of communication, that's fine.
We need to make a schedule, though,
But
for that.
I need
the hours.
To know, what do you want? Because if you do tell us right now, and you need to think very carefully of this, like, no, you know what, I need to focus everything on this girl. I can't have you guys in my life. I'm sorry, Dan. In a few months we'll coordinate. Come back on, August 1st, and we'll sit down with Ray, me and you, go through the stuff and everything else, and then on August 15th we'll get the U-Haul and get I'll get the U-Haul and blah blah blah, and we'll get you out, and then you can just PayPal me $50 every month for the $700, blah 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 blah. I'm willing to do that. Again, do I want that? If you're asking me, do I want that? No, I want my friend. You're always going on about how you have no friends and everything. Steve, you do. You have two friends who love you dearly and care about you.
I will admit though, if I don't have you as a friend now,
And
it's gonna suck.
yeah.
It's gonna suck.
And Tony,
but
it's the same thing with me.
Again,
it is with me. But
I
respect you.
Danny.
I respect your wishes.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's gonna hurt. But this isn't about us. This is about you. And when you make this decision, you gotta make this decision. I don't know what you've told her, Steve. And if you don't want to tell us what you've told her, you don't have to. But I can't help you if I don't know what you've told her. I can tell you, like, wow, that seems like a red flag to me, but if you don't think it's a red flag, hey, go. You know, like telling you to block our numbers. That's a pretty big red flag. And don't take my word for it. Ask Rob. Ask, when you're talking to Tim, hey, if you had a girl that told you, like, hey, I need you to block all your friends' numbers, would that be a red flag? I'm pretty sure you're going to get the same response.
Yeah.
Overall. And again, Steve, I know you. I know how desperate you are to.
I've told her about you, and I've told her what we've done.
The problem is, Steve, is you tend to have a little too much diarrhea of the mouth. I think what you should have probably done. This is just my opinion again. Not saying that how you handled it was wrong, but here's a different way you could have handled it. You could have just said, hey, I got a couple friends I want you to meet. It's Dan and Tony. And have her meet us.
To hide us from her, that would just be absolutely rude. Because she has no idea what we are as your best friends. If we were just friends, it wouldn't mean anything, but we're your best friends.
I think this is the same concept as how you were when you were talking to her and getting to know her. You were trying to go from the batting pitch to fourth base. Like you were just trying to, and I told you, no, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. You need to get to first base and get to know her. Have fun with her. Go have fun. Go out. Talk about fun. If she won't go out with you, fine. But just talk to her. Talk to her about things. Find interests together. Then eventually, hey, let's go out. Second base. And then third base. It's like you wanted to change the rules of the game to get to fourth base. It's like, I get it, man. Any guy wants to get their dick wet. I get it.
Yeah, she made the move.
There you go. That's fine. I told you that too. Let her make the move.
I mean, she put out the first night we got together, and I was not expecting that.
She must have been really desperate then.
No, that's not desperation.
No, oh no.
My wife was. We had sex on the first night too. That's not desperation. That's being human.
Okay.
That's just being human.
Wow.
And personally, I'm glad that happened because usually when you have sex with someone, you're going to find out right then and there if it's worth the thing. Because sex is like alcohol.
Oh, and
when you have alcohol, you kind of become your real self, and you can find out a lot about this person.
Just with
sex is the same way. You are completely exposed. You're completely thing, and you're going to find out whether someone is needy, is just selfish, is this, is that. So that's not the problem.
I come in less than a minute on the first night because
that probably wasn't a bad thing.
Because I hadn't had sex in so long.
Well, and that's probably a bad thing. Did you continue having sex with her?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Then it's fine. As long as you can keep going, that's fine.
Well,
my point.
Ate her out and went down on her, because I felt like I shortchanged her. But I told
you didn't shortchange her, Steve. Actually,
like,
here's a little not known secret for most guys, is that most women actually kind of think that it's kind of hot that a guy just blows their load and loses control like that on the first one, because it makes them feel like they were so hot.
Yeah, but she expected it because I hadn't had sex in such a long time because of the build-up and everything else.
You need to. Well, you don't need to do anything. I can only tell you, like, my recommendations to you. Because I still don't know what you want. You haven't said. Because you're doing that thing that Steve always does, which is just, you kind of just go quiet and stick your head in the sand. What do you want, Steve? Do you want me and Tony in your life just as your friends? I mean, obviously, if it's like, no, I want you in my life as friends and sex friends, fine. I wouldn't even care about that. I would keep it secret from her if that's what you wanted. But do you hear what I'm saying at the end of that? If that's what you wanted.
I do, but I'm not good at hiding. I'm not good at hiding my secrets.
Okay, so you're not good at hiding secrets, so you don't want it to be a secret. So you would want it to be there. Then slow down. Stop trying to get to fourth base where we're all having a foursome together or a threesome or a fivesome or whatever it is. Don't do that. The first thing is to introduce us. These are my friends. No, I'm not currently having sex with them. Ask Dan. No, I respect you. What's her name?
Allison.
Allison, I respect you. I wouldn't do that. Because you are an extension of Steve now. You are together. Therefore, you are one entity that I need to respect. And even if Steve were to come to me and go, man, I'm desperate for some diet man-ass, I would say no. Because that would disrespect you. But I can't have that conversation. Because you already jumped to fourth base. Oh, Dan and Tony are bisexual. I've had sex with them. You want to do it? It's like, I appreciate the effort, because hey, that would be fun. But, just like I told you to slow down with getting to know her, you can't just drop something like that. Because now she's like, oh my God, I actually like this guy. I had sex with him on the first date. And now this. So I can understand her knee-jerk reaction.
We're just real special to you, Steve. I mean, we're friends. We
Hold on there, Tony. I don't know how I feel, like how he feels about us right now, because he kind of did something that made me feel, and you feel like, well, exactly what are we?
We don't know right now. We don't know,
the problem.
But we need to know. We need to know.
That's why we're both here.
This can't continue on, Steve.
I need you to take your head out of the sand. Tell me and Tony, what are we to you?
To me, can I ask you real quick? Let me tell you what I think a friend is, the definition. A friend is somebody who's known each other for years, who builds a relationship with somebody and hangs out with them. Like, I love hanging out with you. But in order for the friendship to continue, Steve, I can't...
Well, it has to be
it's got to... Right? Danny's right, but we need to hang out also, not just the conversation. I need to see you. I need your
that's how friendship works. But if you give your input and say you need time, I need a couple of months, I need that, he would respect it, I would respect it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like what? I can't see my bro for 2 months. Oh, you need to let that hoe go, man. We're not gonna do that.
No, that's Steve genuine.
Yeah. You need to communicate.
We need to know.
Or
you know what I mean?
You need to tell us to beat sand, as John Zod would say.
Pound sand.
Or pound sand.
We'll go.
Sand.
We'll listen to you.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be
devastating.
It's gonna be hard on me because you're definitely the best friend that I've had. It's been like literally
not a good time. No.
That's all right. There's some hot ribs here. I gotta take them out of the oven.
But it's just been.
Your ribs are good, by the way. I remember one time I came over and Steve had them. I was like, "These are damn good ribs."
Yeah, good ribs. I was talking about Jim Reel too. He was on the boat as he grew up, and we were at Lexington one time, and he come in there, and he's got like a 62-foot Viking. So I helped him tie up because it was nasty, windy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You do the cover.
So him and his wife said, "Hey, come on over," because we've been there. We had tied up, so we come over. We're sitting in the salon, telling me about staying in New Jersey when they built it, $12 million. And Mike they kind of got twins,
Yeah,
Yeah, the Vikings. So I've sat on their boats a couple of times.
Oh yeah,
It's
he's
a hell
big
of a way
on
to
the
live.
boats.
Yeah.
Yeah, every once in a while we'd bring one of them over to the actual dealership and we'd be sitting there and just be like, wow, man.
Well, those are just as toys. Those are just as tenders. I mean, this 62 is a massive boat.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
That's
I
crazy.
never saw that one.
Wow.
And we sat me and Kim sat on there, and they got like cases of wine and stuff. And
Jeez.
Oh, jeez.
I've seen them a few places over.
So they had a whole bar set up in it and stuff.
The way it's set up, it's kind of interesting the way you set it up because you walk in and it's just like got these big counters, but they got these big drawers that pull out there, like the freezers and the refrigerators.
Oh,
Plus
really?
They had a stand-up fridge, but then all the storage stuff, that's how.
It just pulls out.
Yeah, it's pretty
wow.
neat. You can put a lot of food in there.
Oh, wow.
In fact, he was leaving from Lexington, and the next morning, because he came in late, and it was stormy, and he just wanted to tie up. So the next morning, him and his buddy Scheibel, he had one similar like his. I think it was Jim's older Viking. So they pull up to the gas dock, and he put 13 grand in the boat.
Gas tank. In the gas tank?
In the gas tank.
13
Boat
grand?
fuel is
Yeah.
insanely expensive.
What, did he
Yes.
just like swipe it with a Visa card, or was
Well, whatever. I'm sure he's got a visa, but I mean, he was at the gas dock for like
1300
about
gas tank.
probably an hour and a half.
Damn.
Oh my
13
gosh!
He's like,
So because he was over for so long, I had already made breakfast and that, and I'm walking over and I see him at the gas dock. So I
Holy!
go over and I says, "Hey guys, where you headed?" He goes, well, Lexington is just north of Port Huron." He goes, "Yeah, we're going to have lunch with the governor up at Mackinac."
Wow.
So they were leaving from there.
just launched with the governor.
Well, that's 200. That's 200 and some miles.
Yeah.
North over lots of water.
So, yeah, that's
It's nice to have a 62 footer
footer. Yeah.
that you can.
That's a
sail.
big boat. That's
I
a
wouldn't want to do
big
that
boat.
anything that's small. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's got like it had 1,600 horse Mans diesels in there.
Oh my
12
gosh!
cylinder Mans. Yeah,
Holy
He's a
smokes!
yeah. That burns
That's
probably.
crazy.
And he probably had just enough fuel that
To get there.
13 grand would probably just about get him there.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
To get a one-way
That's a
trip.
lot of
And I-
gas.
And I complain about gas.
Well, when you got a
That's
boat
a
like
lot.
that, you don't think about fuel.
No,
Yeah.
like to him, $1,300 probably like 13.
But I've never in imagination thought about
Just
how
in that
much
trip,
it
you
would
probably
take to
made
fill
much
that boat.
Interest.
Well, in comparison, when on your birthday when we went to Cedar Point,
Yeah.
and I took my 36 Cruises Incorporated, from here to there, and dockage and fuel, that was probably about maybe 4 grand.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, because a boat gets a mile to the gallon. Wow. And a boat like Jim's, he's lucky if he gets a mile to the gallon. My boat was kind of like a hybrid. It was the guy that ordered it, he put like the biggest motors he could put in there. So he put 7.4 liter EFI MPIs in there. So they were fuel injected, and then he put Bravo 3s on there with dual props on each drive. So instead of, most boats would have 2 drives, 2 props. I had 2 drives and 4 props, counter rotating on each drive.
Okay.
So that boat, as big as and heavy as it was, that boat rocked. That boat did almost 50 miles an hour.
Oh wow.
So my cruise speed,
I wouldn't even think about hitting a wave at that speed.
but my cruise speed was like 32 to 34 miles an hour, whereas most boats in that same classification, same size, their cruise speed's about 22, 25. So I had at least 10 miles an hour more. So that my miles per gallon was better than that mile per gallon ratio. Not that great. It wasn't 2 miles to the gallon, but it was like 1.7. Makes a big difference when you're running your motor's 100 hours during the summer.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Most people that buy a boat, they don't even realize it when they buy a boat that
And
the average boat is about a mile per gallon,
Right.
and you're paying that 75%
Yeah, most people
surcharge.
don't know what boat stands for.
Yeah. Break out another 1,000.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Really?
That's funny.
Where'd you?
That's a jargon that us boaters have used.
That's
for
awesome.
Years, yeah.
That is so cool.
You got another 1,000.
And the other one is you never add up what it costs. Because then it gets kind of scary. But
There's a lot of work with a
Well,
boat.
It's funny because
It's-
my brother-in-law had a boat out in
Yeah.
Florida,
yeah,
and they lived there. But
Yeah.
then they moved to Texas. But his daughter stayed in Florida, and he's like, "Well, I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it dock here. The docking fees are much. And I'll come out and visit,
Right.
and we'll go out on the boat." Well, she would be like, when he would come out, he would never take the boat out. He would just go out there and polish it and clean
Right.
it and do this and do
he
that.
was a marina
And
guy.
my sister would just be like, "For the love of God, just sell the boat. What are you doing?" He's like, "No, I love the boat. The boat." He was a Navy man. He
Right.
was in the Navy and everything. When Hurricane Katrina came and blew that boat up, she was the happiest person on the. They got the insurance money, and he was like, "Well, I guess I'll get another." She's like, "Here, if you even think about getting another boat, you're gonna think about getting another wife," because she was just
There's
like
a lot of
'cause the-
people like him. No, there's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
They actually will buy a boat and they'll sit in the marina and they take it out maybe on their birthday or
Yeah.
4th of July.
But she was like, "Oh,
And the
we're
rest
paying
of the
so much
time
money."
they sit in the marina.
Yeah, he's like,
Wow.
we're paying
Big
all this money
marquee.
for it to be docked there and everything else. Like, oh, it's
I
worse in Florida
just-
because it's cheaper. But and his daughter would be like, "Hey, can we take the boat out?" He's like, "No, you might scratch it, you might."
I mean,
It's
it-
cheaper that way.
Yeah.
Just me, like if I had those kinds of funds, I'd love to take it out every time, but not in that situation. Just like a car, you know, you have a
Not
car that
like
you would
that.
want to daily drive.
Well, for 42
know?
years I put a boat in the water. So some years I use it a lot more than others, but I would say that we used to use it as a family vehicle. So you had half of a year is 26 weeks. So in Michigan, you're lucky if you got 22 really decent weekends, maybe you could call it that. And that's being optimistic, but you
Wow.
still get those, 24 maybe or that. But some seasons come in and it's snowing in October. So, but it's like I always justified it as it was a summer's long vacation. So you spend all that money, dockage and fuel and insurance and upkeep was the biggest thing. Any kind of boat you got, there's no gas stations out there.
Right.
So, and he knows I've had him out in some horrific storms we've been caught in out there.
Oh my
And
God.
if your boat ain't sound, it's not like you can pull into the corner and say, okay,
You
check
can't
the
pull
oil.
over to the side.
Yeah,
You're stuck in the middle of
Yeah.
water.
yeah. So it was
Wow.
always a safety thing for me.
That's
But it got
terrifying.
expensive. I mean, you do it all the time, and then if you don't have the family participation, towards the end of my boating years, unfortunately for Steve, he was forced upon him. So a lot of times, he drove the boat. I know he could take it out, but he never did.
Wow.
And I'd say,
Wow.
hey man, here's the keys if you want to go out.
No kidding.
But it
That's
was hard to
sweet,
just get
dude.
him to go out if
That's
I knew.
awesome. That's a big boat too. I couldn't even handle a boat that big. That's a big boat.
He could have handled it, no problem.
I feel like for me, Dad's little 18-footer was just perfect.
Yeah.
Like that's all I could handle. But you had a nice boat, Dennis. You had a really nice
had a
boat.
few.
It was a beautiful boat.
Do you remember that 43 Go Fast?
The one we went to Cedar Point in,
No,
right?
that was the cruisers. When you were younger when I had that 43 Go Fast with the 420 Mercs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The big motors.
Yeah,
The
Eagle,
V8s.
That Eagle, yeah.
That was a nice boat. That would have been in the late 90s, right? Or like the
Yeah,
early
I
2000s, early.
See, I had the one 13 years or 15. Had the other one for 12, so it goes back.
It might have been
27 years.
2000 or 2001.
That was actually one of the Wellcraft. It was a Wellcraft Eagle. One of the owners, that was his boat. But that was old technology. It didn't have stepped hulls and anything, but it was a massive, big boat. I mean, it was cool because it was a Go Fast. It had the big motors. It was loud, but it had 6.5 foot of headroom in the cabin. Most go fast boats, you got a
Could've
duck
liked
in there.
that.
You got a duck in there. You're gonna crawl. It had
Yeah.
6.5 feet all the way almost
Oh.
to yeah.
God.
It was a.
That would've been nice for
it
me.
was a sweet boat. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that's one of the things I hated about boats. Is just like you got in there, and like when I went to Thailand, every boat we got on, I was just like,
Ducking.
God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You're like going under deck was like just claustrophobia.
Yeah. Hard to get in it.
Yeah.
So you had a good time in Thailand?
Oh yeah, I loved it. Yeah, that's probably where I'm gonna end up retiring. In all
Yeah.
honesty, my wife, when she comes back, we've already made the decision that, because they have over there in Thailand, they have a thing called a retirement visa. So it literally gives you 90% of all the benefits of being a Thai citizen.
Correct.
But the United States, we're just a weird country in the fact that like the second you get citizenship anywhere else, you lose your American citizen. Thai people,
really?
yeah, Thai people can get a Thai citizenship and an American citizenship and keep
But
the
not
Thai
the other
citizenship,
way around.
but not the other way around. But so Thailand, to get around that, to
Well,
get
they
all
do that for Canada. I don't get that.
yeah, it's weird. I don't understand why with Canada it's allowed, but with Thailand it's not. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's really weird. It's second
It
you
might
go-
have been
become a
some.
Thai-
It might
I didn't
have
know
been
that.
Something written in that
in a thing or something like that.
political thing written in when because of the war and all that.
Yeah, Vietnam or something like that. Could have been that.
Well, you can
I
thank
didn't even-
Trump for having to fill out an I-9 now for an illegal alien.
Oh, is that for all the
For-
jobs
to,
and
to get a job now?
yeah?
But
Is that all for the jobs? Like
Yeah,
any
for-
job
so
that's
any job now,
any
you gotta
job
fill-
in the United States.
Yeah,
I
you-
just had to get one.
Yeah, you gotta
Ah.
you gotta fill out an I-9.
I worked my
and,
whole life here when
and-
CBRE about
and I was
15 months
and
ago.
I filled one out for the job I had.
4,000 of us were on a phone call.
how
Said
long
we're
does it
fired.
take to fill that out?
that's not long.
It's
Hours?
not that bad, but it's,
But then I had to rehire with this company, another global giant, and then I had to get
That
an I-9.
sucks,
I
Steve.
didn't
That
even know
sucks.
what it was.
Yeah, I remember from California.
Yeah.
That,
It's like when I
That's-
did HR out in California.
Yeah,
I
oh
remember
yeah.
out there.
That's big out there.
Yeah, yeah.
that's terrible.
Yeah.
Arizona.
So much
Texas,
documentation now.
I-9, yeah, it's,
Yeah.
But you know what? In all retrospect of what he's saying, guy I work with, his son works for this company, and they're all over the country also. So they had this new account they got in Texas. So they had to go down there and they had to hire 67 people. So he went down there like for 2 weeks, did all this interviewing, had like 173 candidates for the second interview. So that goes to the next step, with the paperwork.
Yeah.
There was only 24 of them out of the 173 that got to the second step. All the rest of them had bad documents.
Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And they had to bring them in, put them in a hotel for the interviewing process. It cost them money,
But
but
better to have it all.
you got to look at it on both sides of the coin.
I
Yeah.
wow.
I mean, in one retrospect, we all have to do it now, but hey.
Yep. Good talking to you.
Okay. That was a long conversation with your dad.
In these situations.
I just know how he is. Once he gets going, it's like
I understand that, but that second
He walked right in when I was talking about the
No,
most.
he didn't hear that.
You don't
why,
think
that's
so?
why I said what I said to cut you off so he wouldn't hear. But the point being is that you, Steve, you saying this is not a good time makes it sound like we're doing exactly what we're doing. We're talking about like something. I don't want your parents getting involved in this. If you can respect that, please, because they're very protective of you, and I love that about them. I do.
But this is personal.
But this is
This
something
is-
that I don't want them if you can respect me on this, I don't want them involved in this at all. Personally, I don't think they would be too thrilled about the fact that you did what you did.
I don't think they'd be happy seeing me and Danny here together. I think they'd find that a little awkward. I feel like they would kind of feel a little awkward about what both of us. Do you guys want to go to Dairy Queen together over there at
that sounds
Right
good.
off
I was
9
gonna say
Mile?
McDonald's
There's a
soft serve,
Dairy
but-
Queen right there, Steve. You
Oh,
three of
yeah.
us want to go in the van?
I haven't even eaten dinner yet.
Oh, eat your dinner.
Yeah, eat and then we'll go after.
I mean, are you okay with us being here?
Can we? Yeah.
I'm not. I obviously.
Until we have to
obviously-
go later
obviously
on
we have
tonight.
to impose ourselves upon you.
No, I know. I'm
wasn't expecting you. Well, yeah.
just thinking about how I can address this to her without her
I don't want you stressing yourself out too much over it. Okay.
freaking out.
I don't. Well, you tell her the truth, Steve. You just say they showed up at my house because I blocked them without telling them anything. And then she's probably going to look at you and go, well, why didn't you tell them something? And then you say, because they're my friends and I didn't know how to tell them.
Personally, I think she
But
would
I
be.
love you, I care about you, so I made a bad decision.
I think she would be very happy to know that me and Danny are like your best friends. I think she would be
I'm not
like,
gonna
you know
speak-
what?
Tony, I'm not going to speak for her. I
Yeah.
don't know how she'll take it or how.
Sure.
Because again, I don't know what Steve told her
Okay.
that got her scared.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I definitely see what you mean.
It's like, what did you? I'm not going to ask you to tell me. If you want to tell me, that's fine. But obviously, you said something that got her like jealous, scared, like to the point where she's like, "No, you need to block the numbers." And I hope it wasn't something that you just made up to make us sound like villains.
What was it then?
Well, again, I leave that up to you
Okay.
to tell us, not
Yeah, you
I'm
don't.
not gonna
That's
force
fine.
you to-
That's totally fine.
to tell us. I want to know. I'm going to let you know that. Was it that you were trying to get her to maybe have a group thing go on? Or is it that you were telling her because you still wanted to do us on the side? Or was it, I mean, what I'm trying to get across to you is
Well, she kind of
you are leaving me and Tony in the dark where we're having to play the guessing game.
Well, she kind of gave me an ultimatum.
What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean? An ultimatum
And
of,
for the love
of
of
what?
God, Steve, please be honest with me right now, and don't put this blame on her if it's actually your fear of her knowing about us. Okay? Because if that's the case, right now come clean and say no, it's actually me and my fear, and I don't want you guys near her because I'm afraid you guys are going to take her away from me. Say it now.
That's not that.
Because I do not want to finally, if we ever do meet this girl, and then find out and have her look at us like, what are you talking about? I wanted to meet you forever. And then look at you and go, okay, I'd really not like to go through this again. So, what I'm asking for you right now is be honest, because whichever way you tell me, I'm not going to be upset or mad about it. Even if you were to tell me right now, like, okay, yeah, I was trying to put the blame on her, but really it's my own fear. You can do that, and I'm not going to be upset about it. But if it is her, again, I'm going to say, well, red flag. But you go, boy. Hope it works out. Got a feeling it's another Michaela situation here, but... And again, Steve, you want to keep us secret. You want to keep us... And not even like, I want to keep you secret. I don't want to have sex with you guys anymore. But I want to keep our friendship secret because that... Fine. I will respect that too, and I will... me and Tony will work with you on when we can talk to you.
That's the problem. I don't want to lose that.
Well,
I mean, now you're in. Now you're now I'm gonna say you're in the long game.
that's
Because
gotta
the only
be.
way that you're ever going to get your cake and eat it too is for her to get to know us. Which means that you're going to have a conversation in a way that isn't forcing her to meet us. But the way I would put it is, wow, yeah, I had a very interesting night. Dan and Tony showed up to my house because I basically blocked them like you asked. And they got worried about me. Because they're my friends, and they got worried about me. I don't want to put you in the... I do not want to put you in the position where you could lose her. I don't want you to hate us because you lost her. Okay? And that's why I'm saying you do have to make some decision here, Steve. You want me and Tony to go away for a few months? We can do that. We'll keep each other entertained.
Dude, I love you, man. I love you a lot. Just like you just said, as a friend, you know.
I know you don't want us to go away, but you've put yourself into a situation here. And I and Tony can work with you.
Yeah, I know.
But then again, I have to tell you, this girl putting these ultimatums on you, is that the life you want? Because do you think it stops here? Do you think it stops with your friends? I'm guaranteeing you, Steve, and again, this is my opinion. Take it with whatever grain of salt you want. But I have been around and in relationships and been psychologically with people to know that usually if it starts off with one thing, it will roll to the next and roll to the next. First it's us, then it's Rob, then it's your parents, then it's... And it goes on and on and on and on until she literally is controlling every aspect of your life. The red flag I'm talking about is that's usually the one that it starts with. Now, I don't know what you said to her. So I don't know how much you freaked her out on something.
I have sort of an idea. Now tell me, Danny, I want your opinion too.